Welcome to this new video where we're going to talk a little bit about Forza Motorsport, since the new update was announced yesterday. This update introduces several interesting features and fixes one of the game's most significant drawbacks. This feature has been requested for nearly 2 years since the game's release. So today, we're going to talk about this update. I'll tell you about the new cars, the new challenges, and the improvements to the game. I want to inform you that I'll be streaming live on Twitch tonight to try the new career mode in the game. So if you want to check it out with me live, feel free to follow me using the link you'll find below this video on Primer. We'll discuss the latest update, number 21, for Forza Motorsport. It's an update that adds quite a few features. This update, in my opinion, will really focus on the competitive aspect of the game to celebrate the 24 hours of Le Mans. This applies to both multiplayer and single-player modes. The multiplayer mode has been overhauled. The 4 main categories will include the featured category, compiling the most popular race categories requested by the community. So here, for example, there's Grand Touring, 2 Le Mans Prototype, 1 National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, and Grand Touring 3. So these are really the types of races preferred by the community. The special events that will focus on a specific car model. So here, for example, we have the Lamborghini series, which requires you to drive the Super Trofeo, or, to give you another example, a special Ginetta series. There will be, and this is something new, semi-open events, so there will be restrictions that are a bit broader. And the goal is for players to be able to participate with their project car, meaning the car they've modified and tuned. Either there are as many restrictions as in the more classic events, and finally, of course, there will be the open, where there are almost no restrictions. And the goal is just to have the right car in the right performance category. A first piece of good news for those who do a lot of multi, and there's a second piece of good news, which is that they've changed the base system, meaning that they've adjusted the performance balancing of cars in various categories, such as Grand Touring 2 and Grand Touring 3, so as to make multiplayer more balanced and to avoid a potential meta as much as possible. To avoid having only one car being used because it's really much better than the others. They also thought about drift fans, since this update also adds 8 new permanent challenges. Even after the current season ends, the challenges will remain. The challenges will be featured in Rival Mode, where you must achieve the highest drift scores. And for those who organize races, they've finally added the ability to create a custom starting grid in multiplayer. That means you, as the organizer, can decide that so-and-so starts in 11th, 15th, or 7th position. Until now, this wasn't possible, which obviously annoyed the event organizers, eSport, because until now, the game decided for you, based on qualifiers or somewhat randomly. Many things have been done for competitive players, but also quite a few additions have been made to the game for casual players, including multiplayer participants. Since there are new modes in multiplayer matches, for example, they've added the match mode on Fujimi Kaido and a match mode for speed rings. And finally, a match mode for top speed, in which players are really encouraged to play with the fastest cars possible just to hit the highest top speeds. So quite a few nice little updates that will really transform the multiplayer mode. As I was saying, there are also many new features for the single-player mode, with a highly requested major new feature for me since the game's release. They've finally added a career mode focused on race cars. Until now, the Forza Motorsport career only featured the manufacturer's championship, which enabled players to begin a career in the game, with slower cars to adjust to the physics and experience a good sense of progression. Except that until now, even when you completed all the manufacturer's championships in this category already present in the game, we were only driving road cars, only street-legal cars. And it didn't make much sense because, after all, we're playing a circuit racing game. And even though Forza Motorsport has always offered a lot of road races, there have always been, up until this one, career events that were focused on race cars, official categories, more or less recent. Once again, examples like Le Mans Prototype, 1 Grand Touring, 2 or others. It was incomprehensible that a Forza Motorsport career didn't offer that feature, which wasn't present in the game. And now, there it is, it's present, it's called the Champions Cup, and it's been permanently added to the game. Even if you buy Forza Motorsport and start it in 2 years, you'll still have access to it. It's divided into 6 categories. The first category will be events focused on a single model. The event will feature cups like the Mazda MX 5 Cup with racing Mazda MX 5S, the KTM Grand Touring 4X Bow Cup, and the Ferrari 488 Challenge. So, circuit cars, but with restrictions. We'll have the Thunder Tour, which will offer events that are more like American-style championships. With National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing with IndyCar, and even with Trans Am, there will be the single-seat tour. Now, that's going to be cool too. I'm really looking forward to trying that live. That will be the single-seaters, quite simply, with races focused, for example, on Formula One cars from the 60s, 70s, or 90s. They've finally added, for me, this is really the best news about the endurance modes, with the Endurance Tour, which will offer longer events. So, I haven't tested it on my end yet. Will there really be ultra-long events like 24 hours, at least integrated ones that actually last 24 hours? I don't know. We'll find out, actually. I think live tonight. And finally, there will be the Tour on Invitation. Where? There. These will be events focused on categories of races that have made history. There will be one, for example, that will focus on historic endurance. So, for example, Ford Grand Touring, 40 versus. Ferrari in the 60s, one on old BMW race cars, one on Le Mans, but Le Mans in the style of the 80s and 90s. It's super cool. I have to admit, it's been ages since I was this hyped for the game. Honestly, I want to discover all of that and take on those challenges. That's why, once again, tonight, we'll be live to try out some of these challenges. We won't do everything, of course, because there are a lot, but maybe we'll do this a little regularly. To make progress in the game, nice and easy. By the way, for new players, so you can catch up a bit in the game, what they've done is they've unlocked all the challenges in the Constructor Championship. Previously, to unlock the Enthusiastic Tour, you needed to first complete the Modern Tour challenges. Now that it's unlocked, you can start with any challenge you choose. As long as, of course, you have a car in your garage that meets the restrictions set by the game. However, this update still has some bad news, as the perfect update doesn't exist. This update includes only 2 new cars, which is not much content. However, they've also added some new events and other minor features. The 2 new cars are the 2025 Indy cars from Honda and Chevrolet. That's where the competitive aspect comes in. That's why it's really focused on official racing. As for the featured career events, those are the temporary events. This month, we pretty much only have returns of previous festival selections. Let's put it that way. Returns of previous featured events that let you get the related rewards. Alongside that, there are many small fixes and improvements to the game. Artificial intelligence behavior, improvements, graphical enhancements for better performance, minor bug fixes, and sound improvements. Overall, I think it's a good update. I know there's not a lot of content, but anyway, let's be honest, since the game was released, the content added each month has been pretty minimal. There aren't a lot of new cars, there aren't a lot of new tracks. There are some, but it's never like on Forza Horizon. Our expectations may be lower since we don't get 10 panels added simultaneously. Personally, what I miss in this game isn't new cars or tracks, but rather more things to do. I regretted the lack of endurance racing in Forza Motorsport 7. I spent a lot of time on it, so I have to admit that I'm still quite satisfied with the announcements. I'm really happy that there are finally official racing events to do in the game. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if, in the endurance events offered, there are some really long races, lasting several hours. So looking forward to seeing that. See you tonight for those who want to see more. Feel free to share your thoughts on this update in the comments below, whether it's rental or positive. Please like and subscribe for future videos. See you soon for the next updates. Take care and enjoy the game. See you.